Hello everyone. Something a little bit different. We're going to do a sort of long form chat. I am joined by Joe, the alternative gamer.
Hello.
Yeah, that's him, see? He talks and stuff. He makes noises from his mouth.
I do, and it's very, very fantastic.
Yeah, very sexy. It's not quite Phil Spencer, but you know.
No, I can't match that.
Not on that level at all.
No, not at all.
But anyway, we're not going to, well, we might talk about Phil Spencer, but what we're going to talk about primarily is, well, in my opinion, the sham of a game called God of War.
It's not so shammy.
Ah, well. Well, we'll let people decide. We're gonna both lay out what we think. Well, not so much. Joe's gonna like to say what he likes, and I'm just gonna completely complain about everything. But I think I've got a point. So anyway,
I think you do.
Yeah. So it's the second year we've seen it at E3, and to be honest,
not out.
Yeah, obviously, typical. But it's they've shown a bit more of the game, and I am just not impressed in the slightest. I mean,
what don't you like?
It looks pretty. I'll give it that.
Yeah, it looks like a movie.
Yeah,
Something like The Order. Remember how that looks so gorgeous?
Yeah, no, that's I can't knock the graphics at all, but
And the best mustaches in gaming.
apparently,
nostril freezing.
yeah, apparently his beard's fully rendered as well, which is fucking crazy.
Really?
Like, why?
That took them
why?
like a whole extra year. That's
Yeah.
why it needed to get delayed.
Yeah,
They
but
really had to get the beard down.
do you know what I mean? And this is the thing: you've got these consoles that can't reach fucking 1080p and 60 frames a second, and you're rendering beards. Like, come
And
on.
sometimes they can't reach 30. Yeah, the beard causes the game to lag. It kind of just drifts there, like Game & Watch.
Oh man. But yeah, so Joe, what do you first find good about this piece of shit?
Well, I like God of War as a series, and I think what makes this a bit, what I like is it's a bit different. I don't know if it'll pan out, but it's neat that they're going from like, it looks like a very character-driven story. You know, something that we're going to really have like an intimate tale with Kratos and his son, and they're going to go through a bunch of trials or whatever, anything like that. But I think over that, they'll have like good bonding moments, and it does have a Last of Us and like a recently released a Logan vibe to it. Like instantly when I see any of the trailers, any of the footage, that screams out to me.
Right, now. All I gotta say about this is this game has got a case of what I call Me Too's. So it's like, you've got a popular game, right?
Yep.
Game does fine. Like, this game, it sells enough to get, what, how many fucking sequels is there? You got God of War 1, 2, 3, Ascension, and then the 2 PSP ones, right?
Yeah, they have so many sequels, they don't have enough numbers to keep up with God of War.
Yeah, so like, I can get that you want to like have a little change and whatever, but to completely change what the game was, like completely. Do you know what I mean? It's not even just like this hasn't done like a Resident Evil 4 and just changed the camera angle, because if you think about it, Resident Evil 4, the controls was the same and everything, but they just changed the camera angle. This,
yeah, the controls still were like the tank stuff, and then they just changed it from that fixed perspective to we'll just hug Leon's back the whole time. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But do you know what I mean? It didn't.
But it was still Resident Evil.
Yeah, it didn't change what game it was. Whereas this, it's gone from being able to do stuff like 70 hit combo, fucking nutty moves with like these blades that are attached to extending chains and just absolute nut. Like, all he does is he's angry. He's just pissed off constantly and just wants to kill things. Like, I'm sure there's a quote in it where he says, "I will kill everything."
Yeah, I think he needs like a Snickers. That, that commercial came out. He was acting like Betty White. Kratos definitely needs a Snickers. I want to throw one thing out there with you saying that it is a change, because I do agree it is different. The thing that I will say that I think will work with it is if God of War 4 kind of takes all the story stuff that happened before with Kratos and works that into his character in this game, so it means something. All his past stuff, those kind of stories and his actions kind of come through in God of War 4, or we see that he's grown a bit or perhaps hasn't changed because of that history. I can see then, okay, keep it in the God of War franchise and you're doing something different. It's a bit of a departure, but it still makes sense to keep it in there because you're doing something with that character. If they don't really do anything with that, I feel like Sony should have just created a Viking series. Like
this is my point. This is what I mean, because that's what it seems like.
That's my thing. We don't know yet because it's not out. Like if we go through God of War and it's like they don't make any mention to what he did before, and it's just now, and there's nothing that because of what he did, there's now he acts differently, he's grown, etc. Then I'm like, then there's no point if they don't mention any of that stuff. If they do mention it, then I feel like there's a decent argument there saying, okay, yeah, it is different, but it's still the same character. If that makes any sense. But
then I've got a problem still right there, even before this even gets started, because because the original games was Greek mythology, and now it's moved on to Norse mythology. But
because they killed all the Greeks.
Yeah,
they don't have another game, you got to pick another.
So what does that mean? Is there infinite gods? Is like the next God of War going to be him fighting Jesus?
I don't think so.
Do you know what I mean? He gets to one and starts fighting Allah and all that. Do you know what I mean? What, like,
I'm just picturing Jesus from the Stick of Truth coming in and fighting him. Then that's the only thing I think of when you say that. What is neat is because you just said that right there. Because now they're switching mythology, which really does give another argument to you should have just made another franchise because it's not Greek mythology anymore.
Exactly.
But I will say this, because it would be neat if they kind of explore it. Is maybe there's like different realms, so you got like your Norse realm and you have your Greek realm kind of a thing. I don't know how that works.
So what, you're going to call countries realms? Because I swear he's gone to Scandinavia.
With a talking snake. So he's gone to...
But then as well...
Snake off Harry Potter.
But then this is like just the biggest thing behind it. Even if you just look at the way that the developers are talking about it, David Jaffe, or Jaffe, however you say it, the way he described this game when it first come out is, this game will get you pussy.
Oh, I remember that.
And now they're talking about, oh, the script, this, oh, the feels, and he's got a fucking kid. What's the kid all about?
Because
he's got like a wife.
That they're talking about the script, because do you remember what they were talking about when The Order came out? And I like The Order, but when they were talking about The Order, they always talked about that they were going for that kind of film, movie script, that style.
Yeah, and it made sense for the game.
Exact same thing. Yeah, but that seems like the exact same thing that they're really focusing on with God of War. It doesn't seem as automatic as much as like, because I do see some of the parallels with Rise, but Rise was very automatic, and then you pretty much hit an enemy a couple times and then you do like a cool kill animation with hitting a button.
Yeah, see, that's another thing that gets me. Like Rise.
This new one doesn't seem to have that like quick time heavy. And it's funny because I say that, I don't know. Like, it's like, is it really taking from Rise? Because God of War had a lot of quick time events.
Yeah, I think they've took the quick time events out of it, to be fair.
I'd be fine with that. My thumbs got tired on some of those fights. Like the ones where you kind of had to do like the crescent moon strikes on your thumbstick. I'd always screw them up.
See, but this is the thing. I'm all for improving a game. Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of things that you could have done better with the God of War games, but It don't mean throw it away and like just completely 100% change it. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got like Devil May Cry, for example. They did the DMC thing, like who is it? Ninja Theory that made it.
Oh, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. A lot of people didn't, but what the complaint was
great.
The complaint was they didn't like the character, the way that they treated Dante. That was the main problem. You never hear them moaning that the gameplay was the problem. Do you know what I mean? Because it still kept the core identity of the game in it. Even though the controls was different, the way you did things, it still had Devil May Cry's identity.
Like Devil May Cry.
Yeah. In the same way that Resident Evil 4 still felt like Resident Evil. This just looks like it's another game, but it's like, you know what? Let's stick Kratos in it. Let's just make him the main character. But the thing is, like, how good would it have looked on Sony if this was a brand new IP? They just come out of this thing, like they're like, oh, it's in the vein of God of War, but we're going for Norse mythology and we're going to introduce you to this new character. Or even if they called it God of War, like starting again sort of thing, God of War, but Norse God of War. So it's not Kratos, it's somebody else.
Yeah,
like, from Norse mythology, and started it again.
I think that people would have liked it. Like, I think people would have gravitated to it, and I think you would have had a lot less.
It'd be a lot less divisive.
Polarization. Yeah, you'd have a lot less of that because, well, it's new, so no one has any like preconceived notions or nostalgic love for that franchise. And then with the new one, it's a brand new thing, and naturally, I mean, that's the one thing at least I see online all the time is people are like, make new games, make new movies, make new games. Don't just rehash. Don't do that kind of stuff. Give us something different. And I think that people would really like that. I mean, I think people would still kind of draw the comparisons and be like, okay, it's taking a bit more of a serious tone. It's got that kind of like a little bit of like a Last of Us kind of tone. But I don't think anyone would have been like, oh, that's terrible. Because you can. I mean, you take it, what we've seen so far does look good. It's just, will it fit within the God of War franchise?
See, because this is the thing I keep saying, it doesn't look like a bad game. It looks like a good game, but it doesn't look like a good God of War game. And that's what my main thing is with it. Do you know what I mean?
My only concern with how they're doing it is the same concern with the Order. Now, like, I'm just thinking of this now, is because I really enjoyed the Order, but I felt like they made these gorgeous levels, this gorgeous engine, and the shooting was fun and the story was good, but it was only like 5-6 hours long and they didn't have any other substantial content to it. So it's a hard ask, especially when you have a lot of competition now. Like, it's different if you just release a console. You have the Order, you have a Call of Duty, and you have a Battlefield. Well, all right, all three games will be bought at some point. But now we have so much competition, so it's like you need to, put something else in there. So is God of War going to have, co-op like they added in Ascension? Is it going to have multiplayer? I don't know. Is it going to have some type of challenge mode to kind of,
I don't think any of that will fit in the new style though, because in the original series of God of War, you could easily just stick a horde mode on it, because the idea of the game is to get them combos and get good with the weapons, and like you had the bear hand things where it made your hands turn into like them big bear faces, and you just quickly on the fly switching weapons. Now, like, you don't even have interesting weapons. Oh, I've got an axe that if I throw it, it comes back to me.
Hey, that's kind of neat. I wish I had.
That's just it, but it's dumb. Do you know what I mean? I think that's just stupid. Oh, I've got a magic axe. Give me the Blades of Chaos.
Maybe you get that. What if I throw that at you? What if... All right, let me say this. I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate. I know I do this a lot when we're talking, but what if the whole game isn't what they're showing? What if they're being really particular in terms of what they're trying to show us, so that when we play it, there's a lot of surprises there?
But I think that's dumb, because it makes me not want to buy it in the first place.
All right, that's a fair point. But what if you get the blades halfway through the game? wouldn't you get giddy at that point when you get them?
See, I don't know, because the new style that they're making it in don't seem to... Like, that's obviously why they've got rid of these Blades of Chaos, because if you have it as a behind-the-back way that they've done it now, it's not really feasible to use them weapons. It has to be the sort of top-down view for you to be able to use it, or the side-on camera. But with a behind-the-back view, it's going to be kind of like, it'll be more like shooting. You would have to do like an over-the-shoulder sort of shooting mechanic for it to work.
What if they change the camera perspective on you like that? I don't know.
But if they change the camera perspective, it might as well just be a normal God of War. They might as well have not changed anything. See, that's what my point is. It's like, I'm all for change and I'm all for things being improved, but when you just 100% change the game, but then that's what I mean, it just feels like they've shoehorned Kratos into this game for no reason. Just to sell it. Just to sort of be like, oh look, they ain't even got a subtitle for the game. It's just called God of War. It's like, oh, all right. I bet that took you ages to think of. Must have had a team on that.
There is one thing, and you're going to be like, well, that's just like Last of Us, and I can get that. But there is one thing that I do like, that as far as we know, it's going to be Kratos and his kid.
Oh, fuck the kid, man.
But hold on. There's one thing that's neat, I think, by having a child, like, as a character in the game like that, is that when you have a child there, when they experience something, say they get to experience something for the first time, like, it's a moment where the story can kind of take a breath and let you appreciate something that you see every day, but kind of get to see the beauty in it. And like, as a good example, it's kind of when they run into the giraffe in Last of Us. It's a small scene, but it's a memorable one.
No, it's a beautiful scene.
One that's like, yeah, it's a positive scene in a very bleak game. And God of War is definitely going for a similar bleak tone. But by having the child there, what's nice is when you have those nice moments or whatever, you get to kind of see them like in their purest form because the kid is there seeing it. But then at the same time,
we don't want really nice harsh in God of War. We want Kratos ripping heads off like he does in the beginning of 3 with his bare hands while he's still talking, and then using it as a weapon.
But with the harsh moments, a kid experiencing something like that, like, you kind of get to see it to its rawest form, if that makes any sense. So like when Ellie, then I know I'm using The Last of Us, but it's just the examples coming to my head.
Yeah, because it's just like it. It's copying The Last of Us. That's why you keep thinking of it.
Hey, if I get to, there better be cans of beans in that game that I have to collect then.
And nails, and just put them together.
Yeah,
and
just make little pipe bombs.
we got a God of War bean can bomb.
I can definitely see you, like, I can see the game's going to need to make a strong argument for you as to why it's in the God of War franchise.
Yeah, no, it's got to prove itself, because the thing is, the combat doesn't look fun. It looks quite clunky and slow. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the other ones was completely fast-paced, balls to the wall, just anarchy.
Yeah, it was. It was not. It was as if he was like an animal, like a wild animal.
Yeah, and he was. That was his attitude. Just dripped like anger and like, I don't care. I'm gonna kill everything in the most violent. See, this is what my thing is. If they was to show that trailer with the deer, the first thing I thought is he going to rip the deer's head off and use it as a weapon? But then he's like sitting there like, oh, you've got to respect the deer. You know how
ridiculous that would be?
But that's what what's happened in the other one. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would have been so cool. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if they had a system where, like, yeah, they're going to set it out in nature now, but anything that you can sort of get your hands on, you could use as a weapon.
Uh-huh.
Imagine if they did it like, do you know what I mean? That would be a welcome change to me. So, do you know what I mean? So imagine you could just like rip someone's arm off, then bang, you can use that as a weapon now.
I could see every game franchise being like, we have to incorporate deer heads as one of our weapons in our games now.
Yeah, it'll be the new bow and arrow.
Yeah, the new bow and arrow, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because one game does something well and every other game has to copy it. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got that now with the slow motion jumping bow and arrow shots. Everyone's doing that. But I mean, it's a welcome thing. Do you know what I mean? Like Assassin's Creed's gonna do that now, the new one. Zelda done it, Horizon done it.
With the combat, with the change that you're talking about, like the clunkiness. Just before I forget, I think, and I could be completely wrong, but so you know how in the original, so in all the God of Wars before this new one coming out, he was like an animal. It was frenetic. It was visceral how he was fighting, and I feel like
good.
Well, yeah, the action was reflected of his of how he was feeling. You see what I'm saying? Like how he was at that moment. So he was consumed by revenge, all this stuff. So this new one now, I mean, you can even see it in the camera perspective, how they changed it. And that's part of why I think it's going to be more of a character-driven story, because the camera's closer to him now.
Yeah, we're going to have loads. We're going to have loads of segments of just
of
walking forward. Whilst
Oh, you don't like those
happens.
walking? Yeah, you get your cardio in God of War now. That's how they should build it.
And like unmovable camera moments where it's just like you're looking at this. I don't care where you want to look.
And yeah, I wish every game did do that.
See, I don't know. See, I think like Uncharted is brilliant because it's that way. But to make other games like that, I mean, if you got games similar, like Tomb Raider, I thought was a perfect fit for that style.
Yeah, but it was darker. Like that's the thing. Like it's a different. So it's still treasure hunting because I love the two recent Tomb Raider games.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Uncharted is more. You're not going to find better chemistry in a video game than in Uncharted, just with those characters. And then Tomb Raider is more like it's all about Lara, and then everyone else around her that she meets. But the focal point is always on her, and it's way darker than Uncharted. And I like that we get the two different kind of treasure hunting games. Like Tomb Raider, there's some things that they take from Uncharted, but then like in how it's done, tone and everything, it's completely different than Uncharted.
Yeah, the fact that the whole is like open world as well is completely different from Uncharted, because Uncharted ain't like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But see what I mean? Like these are the things like these are the things that stick and what suit. And this is what the biggest problem for me is with God of War, because it's completely changed everything. Like it's gone from one style to this style, which is because this is like the problem for me. Is because it's not that I don't like the style. It's not that I don't like the way the game looks or anything like that. But it's just not what the series, in my opinion, should be. It's such a dramatic change. It's sort of alienating me away from playing it, because it's like, yeah, it looks like a cool game, but I'm just gonna sit there thinking, I wish I could do this, what you could do in the last game.
How you're feeling about the new God of War is essentially how I felt about Resident Evil 7, because I like the cheesy characters. I like the cheesy lines. I like all the fun that Resident Evil has. I enjoy all that stuff. And for whatever anyone says about it, I love Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, same. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've got to admit, I don't like 5.
It's just fun.
5 is poo.
Dude, 5 you need to play with a friend. If you don't play with a friend, then it's like not worth playing.
No, even if I was playing it with someone, I think the game is poo. But 6 was just so outrageous.
Yeah,
I just love it.
But with 7, it was such a dramatic shift. And for
but the thing is, though, I don't.
Hold on. I immediately didn't care for 7 when I saw the trailers, because I remember watching. I think it was like the PlayStation Experience or whatever they do in December or in the fall. And I was talking to my buddy, and he's like, "Oh, they're showing off Resident Evil." I'm like, "Okay." So I started looking at it. I'm like, "This isn't first person. is this only going to be the prologue or is this going to be the whole game? And the whole bit, I'm like, I don't feel like this fits within the universe. Like, I feel like it looks like a good survival horror game, but I don't necessarily see the Resident Evil aspects. And then so, you know, I immediately was like, I'm not looking forward to Resident Evil 7 because I was expecting them to kind of do something similar to 6. So I went into 7 without really trying to remove my bias or whatever that I was previously developing. And I'm like, as a whole, I like it. I do think it has flaws. And then besides some bits in the game and how the mansion kind of works, I still don't get why they call it Resident Evil 7. But at the same time, I do like that they tried something different.
See, I've got a completely different opinion to that.
Yeah.
No, because for me, it's like, yeah, it like Resident Evil slowly went down the line of getting more action based and like stuff like that.
Yep.
But then if you look at it, Resident Evil 7 is more similar to Resident Evil 2 and 1 than any other survival horror game out there. Even though it's first person, the way that it all works and functions mechanically is exactly the same as 1 and 2.
Yeah, like how the mansion works with the different keys.
But then,
like
But then the whole first person shift, I think, was because they're not going to go back to fixed camera. Whatever they did, they won't get fixed cameras back.
Yeah.
So putting it in the first person perspective is the easiest way to make it up close and personal. So you're seeing it from, do you know what I mean? If something's going to come out from around the corner, you're not going to be able to edge the camera to see around it. You've got to go and look around that corner yourself. The same way that the restrictive fixed cameras did that same thing back in the day, because you can only see what that camera wanted you to see.
Yeah, what they wanted you to see.
Yeah, so whereas this now, they can do the same, they did the same sort of thing, but it's you that's got to control when and how you go around that corner and see what's there.
I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, you see, that
makes sense.
That's what I took away from it. And I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. I like all the Resident Evil styles. Like, I'm really, really hoping that when they do the remake of number 2, that it's literally just a remake. Like, I want it to be fixed camera again, tank controls. Yeah, because I love the tank controls. I don't know what people complain about so much. It's so easy. It's like forward makes you run forward, regardless of the camera. Like, it's kind of easy in my opinion. But maybe it's because I just grew up playing them from so young.
Right. But part of me actually wishes that it will follow Resident Evil 4 style, to see Resident Evil 2 on like a closer level, if that makes any sense.
See, that would work for me as well. They'd have to change it up a lot.
Yeah.
But,
the only reason I say this is because they say it's like they're not just upping the graphics, from what I understand.
No, yeah, they're completely remaking it.
Which is great. I'm fine if they want to do. See, those kind of games, like, they're older, and they were at a time where it's not completely modern or anything like that. Those kind of remakes could be really good.
Yeah, they're gonna have to flesh it out and make it a bit longer, because you can finish the original Resident Evil 2 like one, even though you've got 4 scenarios, which essentially makes it a longer game. But I don't think they're gonna go for that style in this time round. I think they'll have the 2 different campaigns, but I don't think they're gonna have scenario A, scenario B sort of thing like they did in the original. I think they'll just have. It'd be awesome. That's one of the things I loved about 6, because I thought to myself, this is just like Resident Evil 2. Like, you've got 4 different characters that all have an intertwining story, and you see different parts of what's going on from different perspectives. Just like number 2.
You don't get that much story content, like story campaign content, outside of like an RPG. Like, there was like 30, 40 hours of like story content there. And then, you know, you go look at like a review and they're like, oh shit, because it's different and that stuff.
Yeah, the complaint that I get is the QTEs I can understand the moaning about, because they was a little bit stupid. in that game.
The going up the rope as Leon, that was the only one that confused me because I was like, do I hold the rope? Do I move the I was like, I don't know what I need to do with the rope. And then once you figure it out, it's fine.
But QTEs is something you can look
like
past.
A T-Rex out of 10. I remember watching it when it came out. I was on my break at work and watching a review for GameSpot, and they gave it a 4.5 out of 10. And this is why I don't do the freaking numbering system. But I'm like 4.5.
That's why I don't like to even
10?
fucking review.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I don't blame
Play
you
it.
with that. But I'm like 4.5, and there was nothing like there wasn't there wasn't like save game issues. The game, at least when I played it at launch, it didn't crash.
Yeah,
I was
it
playing
worked.
360.
Yeah,
It was
same.
beautiful too. Like it's funny because the demo they released, I remember playing that, and it had like a boatload of screen tearing issues, and I played through
And
the
control
second part.
issues as well.
Yeah, and they fixed all that when the game came out, because I remember I was like, here it would screen tear like a shitload, and then it was fine. My only gripes with 6, they're nitpicks, where it's like Leon's campaign takes a little bit to get going. Chris Redfield's is and like the rest of his campaign is awesome. And then you got Chris Redfield's. I really enjoy his because it's like a nice redemption story. And then I love crap, I forget
Jake.
his name. Yeah, Jake and Sherry. Like, because that was like being in a real, like, I don't know, it felt more action adventure-y than any of the other campaigns, and I loved that one. Like, it was just nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
because
a
that
buddy
was...
of mine, he never played it, and he's like, I want to play 6. And I was like, do you want to play this campaign? Because I was like, this is kind of like a little bit more horror-ish. This one is a little more action-ish. And then this one's just kind of like Uncharted. And he's like, let's play that. He's like, which one's your favorite? I'm like, oh, the Jake and Sherry campaign. And it's been years since I played it, and we played it last summer, and he's like, this is outstanding. How does someone not like this? And when you're like fist fighting the guy at the end, like, it's outrageous, but it's awesome.
And that thing that chases you.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, when you fist fight him at the end, like, and he just doesn't die. I loved that. It was so much fun.
And all of them had their own ending. That's what I loved as well. It's not that they all sort of met at the end.
Their own experiences.
Do you know what I mean? You could have sold me each one of them campaigns as a separate game and I wouldn't have complained.
And it's Capcom. They probably wanted to do that. But yeah.
Yeah. Kept it on the disc, but it was DLC.
That was a weird one too, because there wasn't really like egregious DLC. I think they gave you like multiplayer things, but that's all extra. Who cares about that? All the campaign stuff, I mean, and like you said, how they interweave with each other, it was neat, because depending on which one you chose first, everyone's going to have a different experience. Because if you play as Chris first, and then you run into Leon, you have no idea what Leon's up to. And your first experience with Resident Evil 6 is then Chris. Or if you pick Jake first and you run into, each of them, you're like, what are they doing? What's Chris doing? What's Leon doing? It was so cool playing each of the campaigns and then being like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what they were doing here. Or, oh, I don't really get Ada here and then Ada there. And then you play the Ada campaign. You're like, oh, that fills in all the gaps.
Yeah, it
was
literally
really
did.
Well done.
It was the Metal Gear Solid 4 of Resident Evil games.
Yes, it was, with lots of cutscenes.
Yeah, and it just filled in every possible gap they possibly fucking could.
I loved it. And I love that you can play it in split screen and online. I
Yeah.
think we're going to have to run through that one together.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though, because where in 5, the multiplayer part of it just seemed like a last minute decision. Like Sheva, the character, had no purpose in that game whatsoever.
I did like her. I'll admit that. Like, I did like her. I just wish they used her. You know what I mean? Like, they're weird with how they do some of their characters.
Yes, I'm indifferent when it comes to her. It's just like I'm neither here or there. Like, I don't mind her, but I'm like, if I don't ever see her in another game, I ain't gonna be bothered. But it seemed like a really tacked on thing. But this one, like 6, they kind of made it feel like it had to be, you had to have the multiplayer part, otherwise it just wouldn't have worked. Even if you're playing it single player, the second character didn't feel tacked on. Where the story was like so interwoven, and it was dependent on the two characters.
Yeah, very true. It did feel like that's initially what they wanted the whole time.
And even the new characters that they brought in. Yeah, the new characters
are great. I like that girl. She's like voice acted by Laura Bailey. I forget her name. It was the one she was with Leon the whole time.
Yeah, I can't
trying to rescue your sister. Yeah, I really liked her.
Yeah, same. And even Chris's mate, the geezer he's with, because Chris was just like a miserable, like fucking arsehole for it, and he's just like, come on, mate, buck your ideas up. We've got to go fucking kill some zombies and shit. But I liked it because it was just like, instead of Chris just being this boring two-dimensional like man with biceps,
I just want to punch boulders.
Yeah.
Eat steak.
But in this, he seemed like he was troubled, and there was something up with him. And then you had this other character contrasting him.
Away.
Yeah.
Like, I like how the stories were told in a lot non-linear fashion in some of them. Like Chris's, you get the flashback. Like, I thought that was smart. And then with Jake and Sherry, you technically get a flash forward. Like, I thought that was cool, that how they told the 4 campaigns, they were all different.
Yeah, no, it was very different. But one thing that did annoy me is when they did the update and they made the Ada campaign available from the start. That makes no sense. You can't do that right away.
Yeah, you have to lock that away.
Yeah, you have to do all 3 of the other ones first before you play that. Like, if you played that first, you just like, it's kind of like a spoiler.
Yeah, no, it's a major spoiler. Like, that'll ruin the story for you.
Because when I played them literally in the order that they come in. So I think it was Leon first, Chris second, then Jake, then Ada. And to me, it seemed like, I don't know, it just seemed like that was the way it was supposed to be. And it was like the way that the story sort of chipped away. Because obviously, the Leon story is the one that starts first on the timeline. Like, that was the earliest point, so it makes sense that would be the first one that you played, and then Chris was sort of later on, then Jake was even further on. But
yeah, he was kind of like a little bit back and then a little bit further.
But yeah, oh man, we do need to play that again. We need to play that again and go through it.
Nostalgia all for it, because like I really did love. I still do. I love Resident Evil 6. When that came out, I was like a huge fighter for it. Like, people would argue, they're like, "Oh, this isn't like Resident Evil." And what was great is when Gaming Brit, I think last year, came out with that video. One of my friends doesn't like Resident Evil 6, and I was like, "Look, watch this video." I didn't do a good job articulating why I love Resident Evil 6. This video pretty much says everything I love about Resident Evil 6. So I was like, just watch this.
I remember watching that as well, and I was like, oh my god, someone feels the same way as me. What is going on?
I know, yeah. Someone feels the same way as me, and he's not shouting like a Call of Duty player.
Yeah, because this is what made it even worse for me, because my cousin, who I grew up playing all these games with, I called him up and I was like, oh, Resident Evil 6, what do you think? What do you think? And he's like, I think it's an embarrassment to the series. I was like, what? I felt like crying. I was like, no. But I've been sitting here really enjoying myself, and then you just come and break my heart like that. I was like, ah. Oh. Talking of...
Why didn't he like it?
Because he just thought the same way as like everybody else did. Like everything that everybody else said, he said the same thing.
I feel like some people just kind of jump on. I'm not saying he is, but like I have talked to people where they just kind of like whatever the media says, they just kind of jump right on that.
Yeah, just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I'm okay if you don't like something. Just tell me why you don't like it. Don't give me rehash of, oh, well, this was not a tour de force of Resident Evil 6 game. I just did not prefer it. Well, what didn't you like? Well, just read up on any IGN review. Too much water out of 10. Didn't like it. And I'd be like, you didn't like fighting a T-Rex?
Yeah, or the giant fly.
Yeah, or the fly. They're like, oh, it's outrageous. It's silly. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking Resident Evil.
Japanese games. Yeah, but like that franchise has silly stuff. And
Look at the first one. Look at Wesker.
Well, yes, look at his character design.
It's so ridiculous.
No one should dress like that, but he's cool.
Yeah, and just the way they even talk to each other in the first one is so stupid. It's just like the better, like Barry Burton in the first game is the best character ever. Like that scene when he comes up to you and he's like, "I found something. It's a weapon. It's really powerful." Then he gives you ammo. He gives you grenade rounds.
You are the master of unlocking.
we ain't gonna go over the Jill sandwich. But you know one thing that I found hilarious? Did you ever play the DS version of the game?
Yeah, that was kind of like the portable PS1 version of it.
Yeah, or like any version of the game that went on a Nintendo console. Because
I played the GameCube one and the 3DS one.
The funniest thing, yeah, is by default in any of them versions on the Nintendo is the blood is green. And then you go into that scene in the dining hall and he says, "I hope it's not Chris's blood." And it's like, what, so Chris has got green blood? And it's green. How do you know it's blood if it's green?
Stars agents only bleed green.
Yeah. But that's another thing as well. Like that just made me think when you said about the Stars agents. It's like I like the quirky things that the original ones did. Like, did you see that ever do that thing in Resident Evil 2 when you're in the Stars office and you have to press at the head table. If you press X and like look at the table 50 times, you get the film.
No, what happens?
Well, you just you pick up a film because you know you had the dark room that you had to develop the photos. You just get an extra one and it's just some random picture of Rebecca, but you have to press it 50 times at the table to get it.
That sounds like something straight out of Metal Gear Solid. I love that.
Yeah, it's just like, but like the developers must have thought, yeah, no one will find this.
Yeah.
Like, let's just put this there.
Stuff like that.
And just the other thing as well, in the first section of number 2, if you can manage to get all the way to the police station without using any bullets, you get Zombie Brad that has a key to a locker that you can unlock and wear cool shit.
Wait, what? I never even knew about that.
Well, you didn't know about the Brad Vickers?
No, I did not know. No.
If you get all the way to the police station without using any ammo whatsoever, so essentially you've just got to use the knife. You see, just before you get to the station, after there's all the burning buses and stuff.
Yeah.
You have Brad Vickers, the helicopter pilot from the first game that fucks off and leaves you. He's now a zombie. And he's just walking around and he's like really hard to kill, but you've got to... Oh wait, no, I think I'm saying it wrong. No, I am saying it wrong. It's not that you don't use ammo. Well, you've got to get to the station without picking up any items or using any ammo, I think. So you can't pick up any of the bullets you find. You can't pick the shotgun up or anything like that. So you have to get to him and essentially, I think, fight him with the knife. And then when you do that, you pick up a key that he's got in his pocket, and it's in the dark room. There's like a locker, and depending on what character you are, in the locker you've got like a change of outfit. So Leon has like a leather jacket, leather trousers, and just looking like a 90s badass. I don't really remember what Claire wears.
Before he gets the beautiful hair in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. Oh, the majestic fringe.
They should have done Resident Evil L'Oreal.
Apparently, there's people getting a bit sad because the original voice actor for Claire isn't coming back for the remake.
Oh, for that writer's strike thing?
Yeah. I'm kind of glad that writer's strike thing, you know?
You're glad?
Yeah, a little bit, because I'm sick of hearing the same people doing the same thing over and again. Do you know what I mean? It's like everything is Troy Baker.
I love Troy Baker, though. That man knows how to wear a scarf.
He's got some nice hair as well.
Well, oh my god, he has nice hair. Seriously, he has some really nice hair. Well, it's the same thing with, like, I love Nolan and I love Troy Baker, and it's if they can. I think they're. I should say this. I think Troy Baker is versatile enough where he does, like, in many games you can hear him doing Troy Baker.
Yeah. And I love how in Arkham he didn't do his version of Joker. He just did his impression of Mark Hamill.
Yeah, he did a great version of Mark Hamill.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I thought, oh my god, all right. So if Mark Hamill kicks the bucket, and I never want that to happen, I was like, here we go. Just talk to Troy Baker.
He ain't gonna die. That man's gonna live forever. His fandom will make him like live forever. He's like the ultimate like person for nerds as well, because he's such a nerd himself. He gets so into everything.
Have you seen him voice act? Like, seen him in a booth?
Oh yeah, when he does the Joker, he does the face and everything.
It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Funny story with when Yakuza, the first Yakuza game, when it came to the PS2.
Oh yes, yes, we're talking about Yakuza. Yeah. Yes.
just right when I was looking for, you look for games. Like, that's what I did when I was younger. I don't know what's here. I don't know what's there. And I think I get like one magazine a month. I forget what I got. Nintendo Power. So I wouldn't even get Yakuza. And I remember finding Yakuza, and it didn't get the best score, like at GameSpot.com. They gave it like a 7.5, but I watched the gameplay and I'm like, this looks really great.
No, GameSpot, you got to pay them if you want a good score.
Yeah, you got. But it looked like something like if you took Metal Gear Solid, for the narrative, like having a heavy emphasis on cutscenes, and then it looked like a brawl, beat 'em up.
Yeah, Streets of Rage.
Had yeah, exactly, and then like RPG stuff. But the first game was all dubbed in English, so they had like a bunch of like big voice actors, and I think voice actresses in the game. But the who's the dude with the eye patch?
Majima.
Yeah, that was
Goro
Mark
Majima.
Hamill.
It really suits Mark Hamill as well, because he's fucking nuts, Majima.
And he was great. I could be wrong if that's the character he does, but I'm almost positive that was that one. And I think the main bad guy in the first Yakuza was voiced by Michael Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor from Smallville.
Yeah, he's actually pretty good at doing voices.
He is. I really like it. He's funny too.
Yeah, did you ever play Dark Sector?
I did play Dark Sector.
See, that was a good game. No, it was very underrated, I thought.
I thought the gameplay was good, but I felt like the story had a case of the writers knew what was going on, but they forgot to let the audience in on it, so you were just kind of confused.
For me, it's one of those games. It falls in the same bracket as, say, like Vanquish. Do you know what I mean? You don't really care what's going on.
Oh my god, I love Vanquish.
Like, but you don't. Like, stuff happens. You're like, oh, all right, okay.
Come on, get it in. Yeah. Oh my god, I love Vanquish.
Yeah,
I want a sequel to Vanquish. They need to kickstart that. I will put money towards Vanquish.
There will be a number 2 now. Now, if they've released it on Steam, they should do a sequel if it does well.
We should re-release them on consoles. Because it's funny how some games like just pass people, and they're like, good example is when the first Uncharted came out. It didn't hit that like big awareness until the second game came out. Because I remember playing the beta that was with Infamous, and people were like, yeah, I never played the first Uncharted. I had no idea what this was. It's like, you didn't play the first Uncharted? What the hell are you playing on your PS3?
Yeah.
That was the only game I had for the longest time.
You know that game?
And I'm so happy.
You know the first game? I played that and I finished it in one sitting.
What?
Uncharted 1, the first one. I did it in one sitting.
Uncharted. Did you pee? Or did you have like a bottle?
No, you got a pause button, didn't you?
Oh, okay.
It's not Dark Souls.
Well, not Metal Gear Solid. No, you muscle your way through it. Metal Gear Solid 3, you're in it for the long haul. You need like a colostomy bag when you're playing those old games.
Like that guy in the Comic-Con video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, is that a piss bag? I honestly thought that as well. I was like, oh, mate, is that a piss bag? And he's like, no. And then he's like, I looked at it and it said Radaway on it. I was like, oh. I was like, oh mate, I thought you was just like you didn't want to take your costume off or something.
I remember when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, and I was younger, and like some website didn't give it a 10 out of 10, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? And then, you know, you get older, you're like, I don't care. But at the time, I'm like, how do you not give this a 10?
Yeah, see, I can understand the criticism.
You can pause cutscenes. You can pause cutscenes. That's revolutionary.
We fucking had to. There's like some of them was like an hour long.
Yeah, the whole last part of the game, it's like, all right, just sit back, make some dinner, you know, you're in it.
It is a film in itself.
Witness the perfect ending to a saga.
It was. That game was like a fairy tale ending.
Yes.
To a series. That's why 5 is just like, why does it exist? We've got to change the subject. We can't talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have to save 5 for. We'll save Metal Gear Solid for like another one. That's
like you're gonna actually make me have to talk about it.
Oh man.
You know, I'll save it. I'll save it until I'm really desperate to have a shit, and I'll just put the mic in the bowl. There you go. Metal Gear Solid 5 review. Talking of review, that's what the next closer look video is going to be on Yakuza 0.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, definitely have to do it on that. See, that's the thing as well about Yakuza 0 that's so good. Because if you're a fan of the series, you know that Majima is an absolute nutcase, but then you play this one and he's so straight-laced. And you're like, what the fuck? What's going on here? But then you just gradually see how he turns crazy.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, because I've only played the first and the second game.
Yeah, because he used to be called the, in this one, they call him, like, the Lord of the Night. Or the like something of the night, just basically because he's the man. He runs all the nightclubs and stuff in this game. And he's like really good. But then gradually throughout the game, he just gets more and more mad. Things just start pissing him off more and more. And then he just decides towards the end of the game, I'm going to get a haircut and I'm going to go in the shop and I'm going to buy the most loud looking outfit I can find. And then he just starts talking different and just has this mad grin on his face. Oh man, the game is so good. It's mad how a series can be. This is the annoying thing with Yakuza. It's how a game can be so consistently good, but not get recognized.
Yeah, no one knows. It's fun. Like that's one of those series. Like I have games where it's like I think they're amazing, and when I have friends play them or whoever, they're like, "Oh, that was great." They just didn't know about it. Like Alan Wake is another one of them. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you should, if you like stories, you should play this. And they play it. And they're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Well, I can't believe I didn't hear this game. I'm like, yeah, well, there you go, you're welcome. Yakuza's just the same way. I don't know. Because how many have they released? They've done like a couple spin-off games.
Well, you got 6 is about to come out. That was at E3, number 6, and the remake of number 1. But then you've got ones that have never ever come out in the West. So you've got Ishin, which is Yakuza set in like feudal Japan's.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. That sounds like a cool game.
Yeah, but it's never going to be translated, which is like it really annoys me. But I've even thought about getting it and sort of deciphering the game like whilst playing, because you've got like you've got like people that have made sort of translation guides.
You gotta love fans. That's awesome.
But it's the only way you can do it, because it's not like you can patch the game. Do you know what I mean? This is why, like, when I heard the news the other day that Sega wants to bring all the Yakuza series to PC, I just sort of like almost shit myself, because I was like, oh my god, like maybe we'll get this game, even if they don't translate it, fans will.
Yeah.
And on PC you can make a patch.
They got something right going on with them. We should tab that, put that in like another one. We talk about that in another video as Sega, because I feel like them announcing that whole, oh, we're gonna revive franchises or whatever.
And they've got so many.
That's a smart move on them, I think.
It's definitely
I'll
a
just
smart
say
move.
this: Skies of Arcadia. I just want a re-release. I don't care about a sequel. Just give me it again.
Yeah, I had a comment of that the other day. Someone was like, capital letters, Skies of Arcadia, make it happen, please, please.
I love that RPG. I played it on the GameCube.
You see, I played it on Dreamcast.
Yeah, I never owned that.
Dreamcast, and that's another thing. So Dreamcast is like, it's funny. I don't know if it's a bias or not, because I grew up with the Mega Drive as my primary console. I had all of them. I had the Super Nintendo, I had the original NES, but the Mega Drive was like my main console. So then going from that, and then my cousin had the Sega Saturn, and you had games like Die Hard Arcade, Virtua Cop. He pretty much bought every single game that come out for it. I used to go around there and play it, but then I ended up getting a PlayStation instead of Sega Saturn.
Hold on a second. Okay. I know we've talked about this before a little bit, but I played Die Hard Arcade like in an arcade. That was on Sega Saturn?
Yeah.
Or Dreamcast? Sorry.
No, it was on Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn.
Oh, it was on Sega Saturn?
The sequel come out on Dreamcast.
Oh, that sucks. Because it's always neat as a kid when you play something in the arcade. Because at that time, it's special. It's only at that one location. Not every arcade game was made, like, ported to home consoles. So something like that, it was like, oh my, and I loved the beat 'em ups. I grew up with that one. I grew up with Captain America and the Avengers. I bought that on the Sega Genesis. Actually, my dad got that for me. We couldn't find it anywhere. It was at a video store, a Hollywood video store. And I kept renting it for like weeks. And my dad just went up to the guy at the counter and he's like, how much is it to just buy this rental copy from you? And I remember he paid like a crap ton of money. I still have the cartridge. It still works. And I loved that game. That was awesome. I remember the Spider-Man one and the X-Men one. Oh, I love the X-Men. Konami. Oh man, like they
Fuck
made
Konami.
I know.
Konami can suck my big toe, mate.
But when before the Dark Ages, they did make X-Men. It was pretty neat.
Do you know what my favourite arcade beat 'em up was?
What?
Captain Commando.
Captain Commando.
You could play as a baby driving a mech. I used to love that because like my arcade had that game, and they had in the same arcade they had Captain Commando, the Simpsons beat 'em up.
That was great.
Oh man, this arcade was so good because like you had
Did they have
this
that
point.
King Arthur game?
King Arthur.
That like Knights of the Round or whatever. I remember.
Oh yeah, I think so.
That was great.
There's the arcade Golden Axe in there as well.
Ah.
There was a X-Men versus Street Fighter, not Marvel. It was the X-Men one, the first one.
Oh, I remember that. I suck at those games.
Yeah, that was the one when you had Omega Red in it as well. He was my favorite character.
Oh, he's the one with the three hentai tentacles that come out of his hand.
Yeah. Talking of these games, how fucking bad does the new Marvel vs. Capcom look?
I haven't played it, but I heard that it's just like.
Do you even have to?
All the time.
Do you even have to? Look at the fucking soulless faces of the characters.
Oh, they look terrible.
Look at poor old Dante in it.
He doesn't have this sarcastic charm. He just kind of looks like someone's. It looks like grandma's squishing his cheeks together.
The thing that annoys me is the model from Devil May Cry 3 is better than the new one on PlayStation 4.
Yes.
How can you fuck up that much? And Chun-Li looks like a man. Got some people outside. Sadly, I have to have all the windows open in my house because for some reason it's fucking really hot in England for once, and it's not raining and miserable. It is just absolutely fucking boiling, and I am sweating my nuts off. I'm literally sitting here in my pants. Now everyone knows how I do my recordings.
Exactly. That's how you do it.
And for you Americans,
But maybe I might not have.
for you Americans, pants is underwear, not trousers.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm sitting here in my underwear talking to you, Joe. How does that make you feel?
intimate.
Mm.
Just don't want to end it.